everybody. Yeah, please give attention and close your device. Yeah, please close your device for the first 30 minutes. Then after that, it's optional. Okay, so let us do a quick review. We are discussing how to develop a design a class. Like we discussed how to design a pencil class that contains some features, okay, like or attributes, serial number, model, type, has eraser. Okay, and a pencil class can have some actions or behavior like get model. I'm sorry. Can write. Discuss that, okay? And in our last lecture, we also learned how to override the toString method. So what is the purpose of overriding the toString method? Overriding means rewriting. Oh, I'm sorry. What is the purpose of rewriting the toString method? Is to display an object in textual format, right? A string format. That is the purpose of overriding the toString method, right? Discuss these all in major three languages: Java, C#, and C++. All of my courses are on my GitHub account and Replit account, okay? And we also learn how to create a constructor. What is a constructor? This is a constructor. What is a constructor? Please tell me. Okay, let us come from where we use a constructor. Why do we and when do we use a constructor? Yes, a constructor is used or called when we create an instance of this class. So here, this is the constructor. Okay, default constructor or argumentless constructor. This is also another constructor. This is argumented constructor. A constructor is called or used when we instantiate or create an object. When we create an object, we assign values for each of the feature, almost all of the features, attributes of this class. We assign the we can assign this through constructor. Actually, ultimately, in one, if we say we use a constructor, he's right. We use a constructor when we create an instance of this class. Okay, we learned that a class can contain multiple constructors, right? The default constructor, there is a default constructor. If you do not have anything within the constructor, that will be called a default constructor. How do we know that this is a constructor? A class, okay, a method, constructor is a method that has a name, exactly its class name. Exactly. Word by word same, okay? This class name is pencil. This method name is pencil, okay? A class can contain multiple constructors. Okay? If this constructor does not contain, if a constructor does not contain anything, default constructor or empty constructor. Okay, we can use this default constructor in order to assign some default value for an object. For instance, if we use this constructor here, pencil, then all pencil object will have serial number 101, model Amazon, type ASB, and has eraser true. Later we can override some of these values. Okay, so I know that a class can contain multiple constructors. This concept is called method of. What is a method? A method is a function within a class. When we have a function within a class, that is called method. Right? Function. As when a person goes to school or college or university and study, then he or she is called a student, right? A student also a human being, is a person, right? Either a male or a woman. Like, similarly, a method is a function. When this function is defined within a class, then that has a special name that is called method. Okay, when a function is defined within a class, then that is called a method. Okay, so we learned the class can contain multiple constructors, but the constructors will be different in terms of parameter type or number of parameters. So in this case, the first constructor does not have any parameter, but the second one has two parameters. Sorry, a few parameters. Okay. So now, why do we use these parameters? We saw that we use these parameters in order to connect this argument, okay, with, okay, or to the features, right? How do we connect? We usually use this operator. We say this dot serial number equal to serial number. I mentioned that this keyword, this is a keyword, this is optional. And when it is required, can anyone tell me? Yes. Yes, whenever my parameters, this one parameter is exactly same name of this field name, then this operator, we need to use this operator. Otherwise, if this name is different, for instance, if I say serial number S is in uppercase, and then if I put S is in uppercase, then this is optional. I can give it or skip it. So if I have this parameter's name as different than this field name, then this keyword is optional. Sorry, is different, then this keyword is required. If these are different, then this keyword is optional. Everybody understand this? Please do. These are the foundation. Okay, so if you forget this, then you will not be able to go ahead. Okay, so now we will learn something new. Okay, for instance, here let us start with Java. In Java, there are access parameters, access modifiers. Access modi. There are four kinds of access modifier. One is called default. Okay, if you do not have anything, then it is default. Default is not a keyword. Another is public, then private, then protected, and another is default. Okay, but default is not a keyword. Okay, these four kinds of access. Public means the feature is public, then everybody, all other classes, other program can use this one. Use and can see this feature. Okay, for instance, I will make it public. But if I say default in Java, if I say default means is accessible within family, for instance, within own package. Okay, so if I have some feature is default, that means all members of my family will be able to know that or use that. Okay, and if I have some public feature, then not only your family, your friends, not only your friends, all other people who knows how to use it will be able to use it, see it. Okay. Okay, then whenever you have something private, and only you will be able to use it. You know it. Unless you tell this feature to anyone else, he or she will not be able to use it. Yes, shut down your computer. Yes. Okay, now tell me a feature that you have, or we all of us we maintain private feature. Password? Yes, password is a private feature. Social security number, right? We all have social security number, but we maintain is privacy. Okay, we do not tell our social security number to anyone. Right? Okay. I'm coming through there, but here, so accessible mode here. Default means, okay, default means it is accessible within family. Okay. Okay, but if I say private, so then use private over here. Sorry, public. If I say public, then I have to say public over here. So this is accessibility mode, access modifier. Then fine. For now, my program will work and it will run. There is nothing different. Okay. But give attention, please. If I say this private, these or some of these, if I say private. Okay. For instance, private, let me make some private or all private. I can have all private or a few private or all public or a few public. So if I want to run this program, it will not run. Okay, that means my features, this feature, for instance, let me see what are the error is coming. Okay, the field pencil has eraser is not visible. Pencil, the field pencil dot, so there are field pencil dot serial number. That means the serial number feature of pencil class is not visible. Not visible means not accessible. Okay, and you see the type is not visible. Okay, but for now model is not showing. I will tell you why it is not showing this error message. Okay, for now let us keep delete this. I run this, I think it will. Let's start one by one. It says the serial number feature of pencil class is not visible, right? How to solve this issue? How to access? Yes, we are going to there. We are going to know how to access that feature. For instance, we maintain the privacy of our social security. Right? Do not keep it open. Do not tell our friends or other people that this is my social security. This is my bank information. This is my credit card number. Do not tell. But think about, let's discuss with social security number. We maintain its privacy, but sometimes we need to do it, right? For instance, remember at the time when you came to school, State University for education, you had to show your social security card, right? Maybe? Okay, but you showed that in a secure manner, a secure way, right? Through a secure channel. You gave your social security number to a representative of the university, and you trust a trusted person, for instance. You know that she will be a trusted person, you or she will not misuse your social security number, right? So that means instead of giving this information publicly, you are delivering this information securely through a different way, right? So So in programming concept, object-oriented programming concept, we also have that way. We have to maintain that way. Okay. For instance, if I want to set serial number is not visible. I want to say, for instance, the problem is that I made, right? If I do not make it private, then it's okay, then my program will run. As soon as I make it private, my program will not run. Okay, now there is a way to solve this problem that is called getter or setter method. We need to use getter or setter method in order to access this serial number that is private. So in Eclipse, it is easy how to create a getter or setter method. So wherever you want to create your getter or setter method, keep your cursor and do a right click. Okay, then you will see source, and then all the way you will see generate getters and setters. Click over here, and then you will be shown the fields for which there is no getter and setter. Okay, so for instance, let us do type, select serial number for what I want to make getter and setter. So then I will select serial number and then generate. Keep this as is public. Getter and setters are usually public. If I click over here, in a few seconds you see that I got get serial number and set serial number method. These two methods. These two methods are called, first one getter and second one is called setter. The getter method is used to get a value. The getter method returns a value. Okay, and a method is used to set a value, to assign a value, usually for a public, for a private field. Okay, so how getter and setter methods works. Okay, give attention please. If you understand only one of these, you will be able to make any getter and setter. Okay, the form, although this getter method came first because of serial number ascending order is coming, getter method. But in your program, you have to call setter method first. Through setter method, you need to set up some value. How do we set up value through setter method? Setter method contains an argument of exactly that type you want to creating setter for. So this one, my serial number is integer type, so it is taking an integer type variable as an argument, and then you are making this dot serial number to serial number. Okay, and the getter method returns a value. Value you set up through setter method, that value will be returned through the getter method. Okay, it is sometimes confusing to remember which method or which one is getter method. So I usually remember this way. Okay, getter. Okay, so I usually remember this way. So go through this way. Getter method, getter method returns R, this comes reverse order, RET. Okay, getter method returns. You can have your own way or own technique to remember, but for somehow you have to remember that. Getter method returns a value. Okay. Getter method returns a value. I remember this way. Getter, then I put reverse RET. Getter method returns. Okay. And once you understand getter method returns value, then easy setter method sets the value. So then how do we use this getter and setter method, and where and how do we use getter and setter? We will use first to set value for serial number and getter method to get value. And now, for instance, if you see that I already have getter method, you see the naming convention. In the Java, the first letter will be get is in lower get, then this is the field name, but then camel case. Serial number S is in coming uppercase. Likely, if I want to create getter and setter for other fields, then easy. I can do that way, and I can select this and just click on generate. It will generate automatically, okay? It will generate automatically. All of my getter and setter methods will be generated automatically, like in C#. There is similar way to generate it automatically. Okay, now my question is that how do we use setter method? You see that I am getting an error in this program because my serial number is coming. This is giving me an error, right? So since previously my serial number was public or default, this is why I was able to use the serial number directly. But when if I make my serial number private, then it will not be able to use directly. So we need to use a secure method, secure channel. What is my secure channel? For instance, if I say P1, okay, when I click dot operator, it's coming. Sorry, my computer is slow. Then it will show me the list of the methods. For instance, setter method, P1 dot, you see that if I say set, I have set serial number, right? So my set serial number is a method that returns void and defined in pencil class, and that takes an integer type serial number. Whatever value I will provide for serial number, for instance 101, that will be assigned for my serial number. Similarly, for instance, I have getter or setter for my model. You see that if I have getter and setter, getter works for both private, public, protected. For private, it is required, private members, okay? So now, for instance, if I have my model string class, even it is public, I can have getter for my model, see get model, and same thing, why it is string type? Because my model is string type. My model is string type. So this is why it is taking an argument, set model is taking an argument model type, and it is set up this way, this dot model equal to model, and how this model getter method returns is returning model. So all getter method returns value, and all setter method sets value. Okay. Now whenever I have, for instance, previous, if I have my getter or setter method, then I both way. If my variable is public, this is public, right, model? So then I can use, if it is public, then I can use this way, directly this way, or I can use setter. But if it is private, then I don't have a way to use directly. If a field is private, then we must use that, we must access that using getter and setter method. Okay, so far we learned how to use setter method. Then how do we use getter method? It's easy. Getter method, for instance, if I want to display Just if I say set model, if I say set model, sorry, get model. If I say get model, oh, sorry, yeah, what is my model? P1 dot. P1 dot, if I say that when you say P1 dot, then it will show me get model, get serial number, get type. Okay, so get model. Then if I run this line, then it will display, I don't need actually, it will display my model. For P1 object, what is my model? Dixon, right? If I run this program, then it will show me P1 object Dixon. This is the, okay, so now everybody understand what is a getter and setter. Okay, getter and are compulsory for private fields, right? Okay, sometimes getter and setter is called, getter is called accessor, setter is called mutator. In some languages and in the book you may see the word getter or setter. Getter is called accessor and setter is called mutator. Okay, and in C sharp, okay, we can use same getter and setter model, same way. You can create public, for instance, string, get model, return model, or getter and setter, set model, and this dot model equal to model. We can use this way, okay. In C sharp, we will also this way to set up getter and setter method, okay. Or in C sharp, there is more convenient or shortest way. Shorter way. Just for instance, when you create an attribute, for instance, this one, an attribute, for instance, this one, let me, for instance, sorry if it is very short font, small. People who are taking C sharp, give attention for the last minute, okay, next minute. So then we need to use like this. So then within bracket, we will use get, only get, and then semicolon, and then only, and then semicolon. In C sharp, this is the shortcut way, and but you see that at the end there is no semicolon. Actually, this is a you are creating. This is a shortcut way for setting up getter and setter in C sharp. This is actually used. Where is that? In when you want to link C sharp program with web page, web application. In order to link web application like HTML or JavaScript, we use this kind of shortcut for getter and setter. Okay, and for the C++, people who are taking C++ lab, I have converted my program using setter, and I put already this on my replit. Get my program on my replit, and for instance, pencil class CPP is one. Also, I set this up on my replit account for C sharp and Java. C sharp, both C sharp and Java and C++ also. Okay, so people who are taking C++ lab, please follow this 1 minute. Okay, so here for C++, you know that for C++, you need to use public keyword and followed by a colon. Okay, for Java and C Sharp, we need to use this colon. For C++, we need to use this colon. Okay. Then what you will do for setter method, getter method, you will just return this value, and for setter method we will use this format, this and then dash greater than model equal to model. Remember that in for C++ people, remember this format. Java and C++, C Sharp, we had dot operator over here. We use dot operator, but for C++, you need to use arrow symbol. Who are taking C++ lab? Yeah, give attention here, okay? For C++, you can get my program over here. If you go replit.it, my name Mokhtar, and then slash pencil class xc. Okay, this is the difference in C++, and everything in same fashion you will use. For instance, for my P4, I can say model. So when you are using for all languages, when you are using setter method, we are providing a value through parameter, right? And when we are using, we are calling getter method, then easy. For instance, say p1 dot model. If you say, for instance, p4 dot get model, calling this way. We are calling getter method. Getter method returns a value, so we do not need to use any parameter for getter. But for setter method, we need to set up a parameter, value through parameter. So these are the important thing I want to discuss. Anybody has any question about getter and setter method? Please practice this. Okay. If you need, watch this lecture video again and again until you understand, and practice this. Yes. In both languages, mutator for setter and getter is accessor. Some languages we say accessor instead of getter, and setter is called mutator. Okay. In C Sharp, you can use this shortcut in a regular way also. Like regular field, you set this dot model equal to model, like this way, this dot serial number. Mainly, it is easy for me to show this example. I have a web application. Let me finish my discuss. Maybe I can show you better. Okay. So, anyone has any other question about getter and setter? Six. Okay. Sorry, I took a long time. I wanted to wrap up quickly, but I could not. Okay, for the next few minutes, I want to, you're open. You can open your device. Okay, you can leave or you can stay. I want to see that how far we have gone through so far. And we have two more important things that we will discuss in our next lectures. And then after that, next lecture, I want to review previous old exams, old test questions, okay? So let us see how far we have learned. We have learned that object-oriented programming. In object-oriented programming, class objects are the main features. Okay, these are the building block of object-oriented programming. A class is a user-defined data type that contains two things: one, some variables, and another, some methods, some functions to access those variables. Right? A class is a blueprint. Okay, a structure of a new type or some variables, okay, some instances. Okay, so at this point, although you are allowed to use pseudocode, write pseudocode, like everybody to practice writing program, okay? Please practice writing a class. And I know you will do some mistake. No problem. Don't worry. Try yourself. Give a try some program code. And then from your trial, you will learn something. You will do some mistake and then you will learn something. Okay? So the new operator is used to create an instance and assign values. Okay, in C++, new is used differently. So what is an object? An object is a particular instance of a class. Sometimes objects are visible, but for instance, chair, table, computers, these are visible, right? But some objects are not visible, like for instance, ether, like Wi-Fi signal, air, internet signal, mobile signal, right? These are not visible, but these have strength, okay? So a class contains two things. It has some state defined through variable and some behaviors or methods. Okay, an object instance of this class type. Okay, so we saw that using new operator we can create imaginary object, not real object, but we can create as we need. Okay, so this is the skeleton in pseudocode, but for class, when you write on class, I discourage you to write pseudocode. I encourage you to write actual code, actual program code for when you write design a class. Because for all of the methods, you need to type in begin and end. You may forget something. If you forget something, you may lose some point. Okay. Okay, then we discuss a constructor. What is a constructor? A constructor is a method of a class that has exactly same name of a class. A constructor cannot have a return type or return. Constructors cannot return a value. A constructor is called when we initiate an object or we create an object. How do we know that it is a constructor? It is exactly same name class name. There are some discussed. There are some limitations of constructor because a constructor cannot have a return type or return statement, right? This is a limitation I discussed. Okay, this is a if I have my dog class, then this is the dog constructor. Constructor takes parameter. Okay. A class can contain multiple constructors. That is called method overloading. Methods are different in terms of their parameter type or number of parameters. Driver method, actually the main method is called driver. In some languages, a main method, we usually create our class in one file and in another file that is called method or driver method. In that method, we use that class to create an instance. That is called the driver class or main class. Main class is called the driver class. Main method is called the main method. So what happens when you create an object? Create an object, it takes place on memory. When a new baby is born, what happens? He or she takes place in this earth, right? In this world, he takes a place. And initially, when we create an object or declare an object, it creates a null value. Then when we use new operator to assign some values, then those null values are filled with actual values. Through constructor, we pass values through the field. I have gone through almost all of these. I've seen how to use and we do use dot operator in order to access fields of a class, right? Okay, maybe I went through these. I went through it. Graph. Let me see. Maybe I have through all. Okay, I have gone through all of this. Okay, people who are taking C++, just wait for 2 more minutes. Okay. Have a good day. Okay, people who are taking C++ lab, give your attention please for 1 minute. So usually when we develop enterprise large application using C++, then usually we declare a header file. In the header file, we develop the class file. Put the class in the header file. And we know that C++, a class is ended with a semicolon sign, right? And Java and C# does not require the semicolon. So in C++, when you develop enterprise application, large application, we put the class in a header file, like doc.h file. And then we create doc.cpp. That is actually maybe the place where we declare or define, for instance, constructors and other methods, getter and setters. So in the header file, we will have only template. You see that it will have only template, boolean type breed and weight, and this only template, and no description of this constructor. No description. This is only the signature of this method. Okay. File will contain only the signatures, but the detailed description of the class will be in another file that is called doc.cpp. And here we will be said the one thing that we use doc : doc. Okay. I'm sorry, this dog means this is the constructor, and this : is called scope operator. Scope operator. That means this dog is defined in the dog class. Okay. Since they are two, so this is why we need to use this separate mention, explicitly mentioned dog. That means this is called : is called scope operator. In Java does not have the scope operator. Okay, and then everything is same exactly. Okay, and we will have a main.cpp, that is a driver or main method. There you will create dog instance. Okay, so in C++ it is a little bit different. We usually for enterprise application development we create 2 more extra files. One file is header file where we put the class, and another file that we describe the class, and usually the other file that we call or use that. Okay, that is different in C++, but other modern languages have been developed easier way that we can put all together and see more organized way. It is a little bit, seems to be a complicated way. Okay, any question? So you are taking C++ lab, right? People who C++ really need more practice. Okay, please let me know if you need help. Okay, thank you so much.